So, and I had to look because as we're talking about this, so last month, March of 2019, this is why I like my income reports, by the way. March of 2019, it actually brought in $17,006.79. That's one. But if you're asking how much time I spent on that, or I spent on that website, it's shameful how little time I spend on it. And I really mean that. I spend the least amount of time on that website than I do any of my others, without a doubt. One caveat to that, I've recently been going back. We've talked about this. I've recently been going back and revising some articles on that website because I felt like some of the articles were low, or they were old. They were losing ranking a little bit. So I've revised them to bring them back up, and that works so well, by the way. If you're an individual facing that, like some of these articles were 2 years old, never touched them. So I've been doing that. But yeah, that's most of it. But like the amount of time that I spend, honestly, like the 4-hour work week is a real thing with that website. Like maybe even less than 4 hours a week. And I'm not kidding when I say that. Like it's actually shocking how little. But like, it's taken me a long time to get there, and I built out a lot of stuff along the way. And I always try to build stuff to where I build it once, it's there, and it's good. I love evergreen content. I don't like having to update all the time. So that's how I run my business, and that's worked. So.
Okay. And I knew you were going to answer that, even though we've never talked about it before, but that is kind of how it goes. So yeah. You and I are both busybodies as well, right? So we have good work ethic, and we couldn't, like, even if we were only spending 3 or 4 hours on like our main site, we would still like make up other projects, which we do in other sites, and end up wasting 80% of our time on some other bullshit, most likely. When we could be, doing something fun,
Yeah. But at the end of the day, and this is the truth, like, because I remember people were asking how I stay. I want to go back to the questions, because I remember some of the questions that were listed were, how did I stay motivated when I was with an employer and I seriously was working 80, 90 hours a week between all the different things? Because again, I remember I had a full-time job. I was teaching at 2 different colleges, and I was getting my doctorate at one point while I was doing this. Don't ever make excuses. Like that is brutal. That is brutal for anyone. Like I seriously got 6 hours of sleep a night. But how did I stay motivated? It was really simple. At that point, when I was at a full-time job, I would have to commute an hour to work every day, commute back an hour, and I would have to deal with a boss telling me what I had to do. It just irked me because I was like, I was really into marketing and I knew what I wanted to do, and I really wanted to help people and make a difference. I wasn't doing that at my job. So it was like that frustration, like when I'd have a bad day at work, it was the best day for my website, because I'd go home and I would work so hard for like 6 hours. I didn't have a family or anything either. Like now I'm married, but I don't have kids yet. So that's a benefit. But like I always stuck by the thing of you have to do at least 1 hour a day of work, always, Monday through Sunday, at least 1 hour a day. And usually you find out that on the weekends you spend more time. But like if you don't have that drive and that passion, like it's going to be hard to succeed. So when I started, it was that. And then how do I still stay motivated now? It's easy. I don't, like, obviously, like the money is great and it's like awesome. Like it's crazy. Even I never, ever would have thought that I got to where I am right now. But like, I don't know. I like building businesses. Like I'm confident that if I won the lottery tomorrow and won $100 million, yes, I'd travel and give away money, blah, blah, blah. But when I got done with all that and I came back to reality, I'm confident I would build a website that wasn't focused on monetizing anything and just give people information to help them. That's what I would do, because that's just what I enjoy doing. I like growing a business. I like thinking of a business in my head, growing it, and then knowing, it gets 150, 200,000 views a month. That's super cool to me. Just that right there. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but that's how I stay motivated now. It's like money isn't that much of an issue. And I had a crisis when I started to make, I think it was 15,000 a month when I was hitting that in revenue. That was a crisis for me. I don't know if you ever had that, Doug, but like for me, that was really tough, because it was like I hit my goal and I was like, now I have the money that I was supposed to be happy with. And I had that money and it was like, cool. But I was like, well, now what? Like that was like the thing. It was like, now what? I hit my goal. And I'm like, well, I guess 20,000 a month, but who really cared? Like it wasn't about the money anymore. So I just have that drive of building things, and I enjoy building bigger and bigger and bigger. Like I don't have a plan for a grand exit or anything. It's just what I like doing.
It's what you do. Yeah. I haven't had exactly the same crisis, but I've had other crises.
Yeah. Well, I think we've all had
similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to go through a couple of the questions from beauty reporters who sent it in, and I just kept asking questions before I got to hers or his. But how many articles do you publish each month across all your sites? We'll just say, if you have that kind of stat.
Across all my sites is a tough one. That you're probably looking at across all sites right now, I'd say probably around 50 to 60 across all websites. All websites. Usually, like my main website, the rule of thumb I had since like forever has been 3 every single week. That was like what I did. So about 12 a month. That was like what I did and done. And I don't know if there's truth to the fact that like Google likes it if you keep submitting content and your website's active. I don't know if that's true or not. I took it like, Google probably wants me to keep updating stuff. So, hey, I'll just do that. But yeah, like 12 a month there. But like some of the websites, like the website I'm building right now, it's 10 a week, So it just depends on where the website is in its life, the whole trajectory of it. So.
Right. And I've gone through periods where I publish, 60 articles a month for several months and then don't publish anything for like multiple years. And it's fine. So,
yeah.
And you, this person also asked about how many words each article. So roughly about 1,000, but if it needs to be longer or shorter, it will be. Is that right?
It depends. Yeah, it depends on the content. Like to answer a question, 750 to 1,000, I think is pretty reasonable. But if you're writing a review type thing, it could be 2,000, 25. It just depends on what the content is and what the user's intent is. Do they need something that's really, really in depth? Really think about it. If you research it, do you need that? So it just depends.